All right, Anabela, back. This is your third?
Yes, our third video.
Together. This one I think will be the best. You know why? Because I came to visit you the other night. Anabela did a talk right here in the Art of Dentistry. I might want to call this place studio. It's like,
yeah,
this is ridiculous.
It's not a dental office.
There's something wrong with this place.
Right.
You need to come. If you're in like New Jersey, you should just come here for like a tour. I mean, who comes to dentist's office for tours? But this place really warrants it. Right. But anyway, we're getting off the topic. So you're already starting to get me off track. She did a talk, What's in Our Foods? It was about, what, it was a 2-hour talk?
Yeah.
It was in depth. Now, we don't have 2 hours.
I know.
All right? We are going to condense this to 10 minutes.
All right, we can do it.
So we're going to have to try, but I'm telling you, it was power-packed. A little bit about Anabela. I always I think she's brilliant. She's passionate about nutrition, became passionate about nutrition because of an illness to her daughter. And it really catapulted her. She took a negative, turned it into a positive, and has become one of the more, I mean, you are exceptionally knowledgeable in the field of nutrition. You've done, what, 300 or 400 courses you've taken over the course?
Yeah, lots of them.
You're always studying stuff and really into nutrition.
All different kinds of things, yeah.
Now, she's a bit, she's a little over the top, but, yeah. And if you want to become like her, then that's fine. You have every right to try. But what I like to do is I like to take like 1/10 of what you give and at least apply that. So that's what I'm going to try and talk to people today, because people today are messed up. They're eating all the wrong things. Their children are eating all the wrong things. So we're not going to try and change the world. But
We could.
Well, little by little, what we're going to try and do is get one person to watch this today.
Right.
And maybe make one change in their habits, because one change could lead to 2, could lead to 3.
It always does.
So forth. So we're going to get right to it. Now, you are limited to 45 seconds per topic.
I'll do it.
All right? Now, first thing we'll talk about is meats. Nitrates. Give me the most important thing to know about nitrates and why they're bad. Go.
It's a preservative. It's put in our foods to kill bacteria. But there's a lot of healthy meats. They're in cold cuts and processed meats. There's a lot of healthy cold cuts and processed meats that do not have nitrates. So it's really about the quality of the meat, the healthy meats. We really do not need to put those types of preservatives, the nitrates, nitrites.
Now, refined sugar.
Right.
Let's
All
go.
right, refined sugar. They take a sugar cane and they take all the necessary vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and it turns into an anti-nutrient. So if you're going to consume sugar, it's an anti-nutrient. It's going to rob the body of its reserved minerals, especially chromium. That's really big in regular cane sugar to try to process the sugar. It's going to rob the body of minerals and enzymes and vitamins, especially B vitamins. So total anti-nutrient.
Now,
we know
when
that.
you take sugar, your immune system, you said this
Right. Yes, this is big. If you consume sugar, it could suppress your it will suppress your immune system up to 8 hours. This is per dosage. So if you drink a soda, your immune system can be minimized up to 8 hours, and that's per dosage. So if you have a soda and then 2 hours later you have a Dunkin' Donut, or I shouldn't say Dunkin' Donut, or if you have pasta, or because that's all sugar, your immune system is suppressed all day long, and that will allow us to become ill very easily.
Okay, so refined sugar, where is it? What kind of?
It's in everything. So look at the ingredients. You see sugar in there, most likely it's a refined sugar.
Now, again, we're not going to cut sugar out. People are going to eat
That's
sugar.
right.
So what quick tips to cut down? Like what should they avoid?
So what you should cut out is products that have a lot of sugar, like soda. Even fruit juices. It's a lot of fructose in it. Fructose is, a sugar. And even though people say, but it's fruit, it's good for you, it's still a sugar.
Right.
And then if you have a soda and you have some bread or soda with pasta, that's sugar too.
Bread
converts into sugar.
Immediately. Pasta
Immediately, right.
Turns to sugar.
Right. So you have to
big bowl
minimize.
Pasta with a Sprite or 7-Up
pure sugar.
is really not healthy, not a good thing. Okay.
So you can minimize the sugar by just minimizing the different types of sugar that you're consuming in a day.
So a person could say, okay, what they could do for that example is instead of having a Sprite, or they could have a seltzer, put some lemon in it.
Right. Water.
Because
don't forget that anytime you consume sugar, it's also very dehydrating, and it's an anti-nutrient, and it stores in the body as fat. That's really where our weight comes from. It's the amount of sugar and carbohydrates a person eats, because if the body can't utilize that energy, because it's quick energy, that's what sugar and carbs are. If we can't utilize that energy, it's going to store in the liver as fat.
Right.
And then we're constantly eating the sugar, so we never really get to use that stored energy.
Right.
And so we have to. That's how we pack out.
Are there better alternatives to to limit the sugar? We don't want to go artificial sweeteners.
No, you don't want to do that, because then you're going to substitute. Okay, artificial sweeteners have no calories,
Right.
but then the trade-off is it's a neurotoxin. It's stored.
Neurotoxin.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. It affects the brain. It's a poison for the brain. But one of the things that most people don't know is that the type of toxin that's in these artificial sugars store in the fat tissue for protection. So you cannot lose weight with these artificial sugars. You're going to reduce the calories, that's true, but the trade-off is we're storing these toxins in our fat.
All right, now we're on the subject of sugar, artificial sweeteners. There's a huge problem in our country with a product or an ingredient known as high fructose corn syrup. Now, that came about because it's much less expensive to manufacture.
Because it's from corn. Right.
And it's made from genetically modified corn, which you'll touch on that. What are some of the problems with high fructose corn syrup?
Well, that has to be broken down into the liver 100%. Nothing should be broken down in the liver 100%. Our liver is a very important organ, and it cannot be tied up breaking down this high fructose corn syrup all day long, because it's in everything. So if you look at the back of the labels, that's what you should be looking at, and if you see high fructose corn syrup, and you will, the body's trying to break that down all day long, and that also stores as fat. One of the things that it doesn't do is it doesn't release that hormone leptin that I talked about. Okay? When your pancreas releases insulin, it's a response to sugar, the hormone, and then also a hormone called leptin. That leptin hormone says, I'm done, tells the brain, I'm done, I'm full, I don't want any more. High fructose corn syrup never releases that hormone. So it's an addictive type sugar. It is what you said, a GMO product, a genetically modified product. So it has its own problems right there. Very cheap for the manufacturers, that's why they use it.
It's linked to so many problems.
And it's such a problem that now the food manufacturers want to change it to high fructose corn sugar. Yeah, because to try to hide it.
I had helped her with that. It was cool.
They're trying to hide it because people are becoming
just
more and
disguising
more
the
aware.
names.
That's right.
It's almost like, back in the day it used to be Sugar Crisp cereal, now it's, whatever. Pop.
Healthy Crisp or
They
something.
take the word sugar out of stuff.
Right.
So, all right. Let's talk about food coloring. Now that, to me, I never realized that.
Yeah.
When you see food coloring, you see people like baking, changing the color of stuff. You just assume that there's no issues at all. How could there be any problems with food coloring?
But there is, because they're made from bad chemicals. And that's what people don't realize.
Synthetic chemicals?
Synthetic chemicals. A lot of them are heavy metals. There's arsenic, lead, and mercury in these food colorings. You can go onto the FDA website and you can even look up the food colorings. They'll give you a list of all the heavy metals that are in them.
That's amazing.
And it's in everything. Again, it's in everything because we have to hide our food again. So you'll see it usually on the bottom, it'll say like FD number 3 or FDC number 4. You'll have all these different numbers and coloring. Those are artificial colorings. You can put real colorings in, but the manufacturers won't do that because it's more expensive. So they have to take an extract from beet to give it the red color. They won't do that because synthetic chemicals are a lot easier.
And you see food coloring and just a quick
everything, soda, macaroni and cheese, bread.
Really?
You see it in bread.
Really?
Yeah, everything. Wow. So vitamins. So you think you're doing something good and you're giving your children vitamins. Wow. When my kids were little and I didn't know any better, I used to take those little vitamins that have all different colors, put them on the table, and I say to my daughter, do you want red today? Do you want yellow? Do you want green? Little did I know, I was giving my daughter heavy metals and all these chemical alterations to her body. So you got to be careful. It's in our vitamins, and we can get vitamins that do not have food coloring. It's in adult and children's vitamin, and it's in medicine, over-the-counter medicine. I'm not going to name any of the...
It's almost everything.
It is in just about everything.
Obviously,
but you
the
can
juices,
buy.
the kids' sports drinks,
Yep.
they blue.
Yep.
Give me the
I can't say
such
the
and
famous
such
name
blue.
of that
Give me the
sports
such
drink.
and such red. Give
Yep.
me such and such
Food
yellow.
coloring.
It's all food coloring. Plus the high fructose corn syrup mixed together.
Right.
What a wonderful batch that we're giving our
There
kids.
we go.
Crazy.
And then we wonder why we have health problems. It starts
Oh, boy.
with our food. I'm telling you guys, it starts with our food.
Are you getting crazy now? Because
Well, I'm just saying we can.
Stop, because we got a couple
All right,
more
we
things.
got more. Okay.
All right,
let's
so
go. Right.
GMO stands for genetically modified organism.
Organism.
Quickly, I know it's a tough topic to go quickly,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what is that?
Okay,
What's
so
GMO?
what they do is they take a seed that should not be altered, okay? But they do. They alter it in the laboratory, okay? And what they do is they change the DNA of the seed.
Okay.
You don't want to change the DNA of anything,
Right.
because once you change the DNA of anything, all hell breaks loose in the body now.
Okay.
So that's what they do. And what's interesting is if a bug eats this GMO seed, and 85% of our corn is genetically modified. And again, high fructose corn syrup,
Yeah.
everything is made from corn, just about. When a bug eats this seed, this plant, their stomachs explode. So it makes me think,
Unbelievable.
I mean, if
So
the
you're
bugs...
telling me like if is GMO all fruits, but they make them
Yeah,
basically fruit?
yeah.
So if a bug eats like a peach, that's GMO. The bug stomach.
Stomach explode, that's why the pesticides die. That's why the bugs die. Okay, and they also grow in these GMO seeds, they grow the pesticides from the seed out. So yes, they're still spraying the fruits and the vegetables.
How do you know if your fruit or vegetable is genetically modified?
All right, now there's the PLU code that
There's
I talked
codes
about.
on the stickers.
Right, if you
Quickly.
buy a fruit and vegetable, you'll have, you know that little sticker that you peel off when you wash the fruit and
Right,
vegetable?
sure.
That's important. If it starts with a 9 and it's 5-digit, that's an organic product. If
That's
it's
good.
organic,
Nine
no
is
GMO.
good?
9,
Nine's good.
don't worry about if, it's a 5-digit code, but if it starts with a 9, it's an organic product. If it's
Right.
organic, it cannot be GMO.
Okay.
If it starts with a 4-digit, it's conventional, which means it's been pesticide, herbicide, fungicide, and it could be a GMO.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
If it starts with an 8, then it's blatantly labeled as a GMO.
Really? So you will know if it's GMO.
Yeah, they don't do that too often.
They don't
No,
flash the lights,
no.
but
But that's just a
they-
little secret that people don't know about. So when I go to the food store, I gave you that little example of what happened to me when I
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
the store, right?
Right,
The organic sign and the little sticker was 4. So
Yeah.
it's really valuable to know that. So when you're buying anything, forget about what the sign says. Look at the little label, and if it has a 9, you're safe.
But in a nutshell, if folks can just be a little more aware of what's going on, you can't bury your head in the sand. There's
We
one
can
thing
talk
that
about soy.
well, we'll get to that on the next video.
Soy is important.
All right, on the next video.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Okay.
So you can't bury your head, and you can't just assume because it's on a shelf that it's okay. And that's the and listen. Let's
And the
you were like
keywords.
that. Tell
And the
everybody,
keywords.
you were a disaster
Yes.
until you changed
Yes.
your habits. I mean,
I was overweight, I was depressed, I was sick, I didn't feel good, I had no energy. I mean, I was like a lot of typical women that out there,
you ate all the bad things, you cooked all the bad things.
Yeah, and those keywords like moderation or everything's okay in moderation, or as long as you eat fat-free, it's wrong. The message is wrong.
Because I remember before you got into, now we've known each other for 20 years, but I've known you when you were normal for the first time. How long have you been nuts now? 6, 7 years?
At least 7 years.
All right,
yeah.
so before when you were normal, I was an idiot. My diet was all I never had an ounce of fat in any of my meals.
Remember the eggs?
I was
Taking the egg yolks out?
I always thought I was doing the right thing. I never had a drop of fat in my diet, and you taught me that fat is not only good, but it's important. And since you educated me, I would say that my fat intake is 10 times what it was.
And you look better now than you ever have.
Take it easy with that stuff, all right? Because
I'm just saying.
when I was 25, I was, but now, gray hairs, all that. But yeah, as far as weight, I'm the same exact weight that I was, increasing the amount of fat intake, and I learned that from you. So you have to be willing to learn. You can't just go, you can't look, some people are going to watch the video and go, oh, they're shooting this, the lighting's bad, and, I yelled at you because you misspelled a few things in your presentation.
I did.
But these are things that you can't look at. You got to look at the stuff that Anabel's trying to share with you and make small changes. I mean, it's great to make big ones.
Small changes, makes another small change, makes another small change, and before you know it, the headaches are gone, the weight comes off, and everything, you're just a healthier person.
Anabela Bacchione, Bobby D.
Peace.